Hi, and welcome back, everyone. I'm Day-Glo Buffalo, and this is Let's Play Technobabylon. Now, I want to make a quick note here at the beginning. When I recorded this part, there was a screw-up with my audio recording software, and basically it didn't record my commentary. So I'm going to have to do this commentary again in post. Now, obviously, I don't remember anything of what I said, and this is a fairly strange episode because there's very little action going on. It's basically all just conversation with various people. So of all the episodes where this could have happened, this is probably the worst. But we'll get through it somehow, and we'll be back to regular commentary in the next part. So let's get back to Technobabylon Part 15. Alright, here we are, back in the game. When we last left off, we had reconnected with Nina, who we used to work with, and her little band of conspirators who are present here. And, well, basically what their plan is to get rid of Central so that they can probably replace it with something that is more pliable to their specific needs, which are probably mostly centered around enriching themselves and not really serving the public good, but that's just me editorializing. So first, before we start talking to everybody, I tried to talk to the security guard in the back, just to see if there was anything that he could add.
Hello?
To the conversation. Though obscured by his dark glasses, you can tell that the guard is staring right through you. Apparently, conversation is not his priority, so there's nothing we can get out of this guy, so we best move on. And first, we're gonna talk to Imogen, the lady in the green dress.
Good evening, Miss...
Dame Imogen Natalia Revilla Quintanilla de Flores.
Yeah, that.
You may call me Imogen, darling.
How very familiar, how very nice of her.
If you don't mind my saying, you don't look like any conspirator I've ever seen before.
Thank you, darling. It's my own unique style.
I'm sure Nina's got a use for everyone here. What part are you playing in her plan?
All we ever do in life is play a role, Dr. Regis. I promised I would assist her when she required. And thus, here I am.
Not as heavy muscle, I guess.
I am very good at networking, Dr. Regis. I taught her everything she knows about it. I lend credibility to her mission with my very presence.
Credibility? Her? She didn't really sound all that credible.
I could understand why some people would want Central removed, the kinds of folks who see it as an obstacle to their work. But what good would it do a celebrity like yourself?
You think in such cynical terms, Dr. Regis. It benefits me because it benefits dear Nina.
You're doing this out of altruism?
Is that so surprising, Dr. Regis?
Frankly, it is.
Yep, exactly what I would have said. Yep, that really is surprising, or would be surprising.
Do you know Dr.
If I believed
John?
it.
Of course, darling.
You go back a long way?
One might say that. We were lovers, Dr. Regis.
Oh,
My, they said you came from backwards parts, but I hadn't quite expected a display like this.
Forgive me, Miss Flores. I just find it hard to picture Dr. Zhang loving anything.
We were close. Close enough that I came to her aid now that she needs it.
Came to her aid by lending credibility, apparently.
You knew Gil Vanderwall as well?
Only within this gathering. I had no use for his services in talent acquisition.
You mean facilitating criminal skills with buyers.
Indeed, his history in the underworld sounded so thrilling. But personally, he was so dull. Everything was business to him. That husband of his, on the other hand.
Yes, revolution is ever so dull. That's the problem.
So I hear you're a celebrity?
Oh, Dr. Regis, such an understatement.
You'll have to forgive me, Miss Flores. I'm not big on pop culture.
How refreshing. It's such a shame what the net's doing to the young of today. Though if it wasn't, I wouldn't have nearly the profile I do.
So, what do you do exactly?
I come from a wide background of European nobility. But I can do anything that's asked of me, my dear. Music, talent contests, endorsements.
So essentially, you're famous for being famous?
Precisely, though much of the work is so tiresome, darling. I delegate a great deal to simulations, lookalikes, and synthetics.
No, actually, there's a big difference there. She's not famous for being famous. She's famous for being rich, which is the big discriminant in many of these cases.
Were you aware this restaurant serves human meat?
It's a giddy thrill, isn't it? Have you seen their celebrity selection?
Celebrities?
They have cloned tissue from influential figures of the past 2 centuries. Would you care for a leg of John F. Kennedy?
That's appalling.
I know. Non-entities like that, and I'm nowhere to be found. I must complain to the management. Perhaps offer them a sample.
That's all for now, Miss Flores.
Please, darling. Just Imogen.
So that's the person they got for credibility. Seriously, that's the best they could do for credibility. We're moving on to Ron Schumann.
Mr. Ron.
What you want?
What's your part in this conspiracy?
Dr. John wants to capture biggest AI in the world. It's going to take enormous memory and processor.
And you're going to furnish her with these?
With all the capital she need, money, guns, labor.
It sounds like you're on board with her plan. What do you get out of it?
Newton is lousy place to do business, Regis.
You reckon it's Central's fault?
Central watches too close.
You can't bribe anyone, you mean?
Exactly. Can't make things work.
Sometimes it's nice not to have a government driven by the wealthy.
We will control New Central. It's a great opportunity for us.
Oh look, a rich person who wants to get rid of regulation. Where have I seen that before, and it never ends well.
What do you think of Dr. Zhang?
She's very clever. She knows what she's doing.
I worked with her in the past. I guarantee the only ones she's looking out for are her and her plans.
So, that's how to get ahead. Cooperation happen when we want same thing. I want Central gone. She wants Central gone.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Yep, everyone is there just looking out
Do you
for
know
themselves.
Gil Vanderwall?
Sure, everyone here know Jill. We work together. He have connections everywhere.
He was a middleman for criminals.
Exactly. Any specialist he could find. Even Mindjackers, Dr. Regis.
You're one of the richest men in Greater Han, aren't you?
Damn straight.
What are you doing here?
I like this restaurant. I suggest it.
No, I mean, why in person? At this meeting?
That is how we always do it. Cannot trust anyone else. Other people stupid. If too many people know, then Central will find out.
What sort of business do you run?
Some of everything. Factory, guns, biochem, industry farming.
A hands-on manager there too?
Hell no. Give that job to cousins. You ever see Han? Is lousy country. Everything poisoned. Sky is black.
Maybe it's all those factories you're running.
Yeah, of course. They screw up the country for everybody else, and then they live somewhere nicer. As always.
Probably a stupid question, but did you know what they serve here?
Of course. It's people.
The idea of eating human meat appeals to you?
Absolutely. Is why I like to come to Newton. You have some crazy laws, but almost nowhere else will allow things like this.
It's cloned meat, apparently, so technically no harm done. That's the legal foundation.
A shame. Would rather eat real human. Ultimate sign of control of people.
Eat the poor.
Exactly. That will teach them.
Yeah, that'll teach him to be poor. He really seems like the kind of guy who would probably even strangle the guy himself with his own hands before eating them.
What do you know about Gil's links to the Mindjacker?
Vanderwall set people up with specialist talent, famous for it. In this case, a third party needed a Mindjacker. He fixed that up for them, got the best.
But eventually, he discovered something that made him regret introducing them?
He found what the client's plans were in the long run. If they succeed, our plan to remove Central will fail.
So he tried to stop the Mindjacker.
Exactly. Took the memory module he was using to store minds of his targets.
And it cost him his life.
Pity he's working against us. Good mindjackers are hard to find.
Who hired the Mindjacker from Vanderwall?
Like everything else, information is not free, Regis.
I'll get back to you.
Stop wasting my time.
What a delightful fellow, Mr. Anshuman. So, next we're moving on to Mr. Stepford.
Mr. Stepford, can I have a moment?
Oh my, yes.
Gonna do my best to not have my commentary just be, oh my yes, every time I say something.
So, you want to bring down Central?
Oh my, yes, as does everyone here. Though for differing reasons.
What does a synth manufacturer have against Newton's city controller?
A stake in that which follows, oh yes. If Dr. Zhang was simply to remove Central, there would be chaos.
The city's central infrastructure would break down.
Precisely, therefore a replacement would be needed.
Oh yes, profiting from chaos, how quaint.
You want to replace Central with a new AI? With what?
The new version is simply a retooled model of an existing system.
Your own.
Oh my, no. It's built from a commercial Archimedes model as used in Eurofed cities.
It'll do the job?
Oh my, yes, as well as any civic management AI in Europe. But thanks to Stepford's personality matrix engineering, it shall act and speak just as its predecessor Central.
With you holding its leash.
Every system needs fine-tuning, Dr. Regis.
Won't services suffer? I know Central. It's orders of magnitude more powerful than an Archimedes.
All unnecessary for its role, Dr. Regis. Our Archimedes in Central's clothing will perform as needed, oh yes.
Well, they're rich, they probably won't ever need any of those services that Central provides, and so, what do they care? To add to what I said before, profiting off of chaos that you yourself created.
Your connection to Gil. It was more than synth salesman, wasn't it?
Oh my, yes, very astute, Dr. Regis. Gil was a key part of our group.
Huh. A co-conspirator.
Oh yes, and our link to the criminal underworld, where necessary. I was most disturbed to receive your call regarding his demise. It signaled to us that immediate action was required.
You had to step up your plan before things went any further south.
Oh my, yes.
How did you fall in with someone like Nina Zhang?
Dr. Zhang has been freelancing with our firm for a number of years. Her work in AI has proven invaluable to increased platform survivability.
Working in mental health for synthetics?
Oh my, yes. She has a number of unique theories of synthetic cognitive development. When she proposed this project to the leadership of the firm,
She'd wormed her way up the power structure to whisper in management's ear.
Dr. Regis, that's a shameful way of putting it. Though she certainly has a talent for networking. She has brought together a multitude of skills needed for this role.
So basically she did worm her way up the power structure.
You're not just a synthetic salesman, are you?
Oh my, no, not this particular platform, certainly.
How do you mean?
Well, I'm not the only instance of the Sons of Stepford. There are currently 26 platforms running this personality.
There's more than one of you?
Alphabetically ordered, delegated to different roles within the firm. I, Liam, handle special tasks, oh my, yes. But we all run the same personality.
Huh, synthetics.
So alphabetically ordered, so Liam, L, so there's a bunch of them running around. All of this actually also explains the name Stepford.
You're a synthetic.
Quite so, Dr. Regis.
I should have guessed. There's something not quite right. I think it's the eyes.
A specially built feature of the Sons of Stepford, oh my, yes. Much of my composition, however, is state-of-the-art.
A walking advertisement.
I illustrate the potential for what one can do with a synthetic, Dr. Regis. Many customers have been swayed by the demonstration.
You're the one who found my embryos?
Oh my, yes.
Where are they?
Dr. Regis, while it pains me to say this, we simply can't tell you. Then we would have no bargaining position.
You lousy piece of...
Please, Dr. Regis, be assured that they are in no danger at this time. Dr. Zhong is the one with whom you must discuss the release of the information. I have been asked not to speak any more of this matter. Oh my, no.
So we're back to asking about the restaurant.
Were you aware that this establishment serves human meat?
Oh my, yes. It's delightfully macabre, isn't it? I'm
Just
sure the
delightful.
experience would be enhanced by being able to eat, of course.
You don't eat?
Some models can simulate digestion, but this platform is unable to. Go on, Dr. Regis. Try something for me.
I'll pass. I'll get back to you.
Oh my, yes.
So he's supposed to be kind of like advertising for Stepford and Sons, and the Kenneth Williams personality is the best they could come up for that?
Dr. Regis, how can I help?
I'm surprised to see a city councilor in a conspiracy like this.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, Dr. Regis.
I guess you've been facilitating things for the plot.
Much as it pains me to misuse my position, that is the case. I've been able to expedite import permits for equipment necessary to Dr. Zhong's plans.
And Central hasn't noticed?
In my role, I'm given considerably more privacy than the average civil servant. No offense, Doctor.
None taken. I just cover the camera in my office with paste.
A politician abusing his office. Well, there's a new concept. Never heard of that before.
So, I understand what you're doing for it, but why? How does someone in government decide that Central needs removing?
I've read your bio, Dr. Regis. I know that you have no great love for Central. But, in practical terms, I believe it has become a threat to our democratic society.
A threat? How so?
Over the course of its 20 years of operation, Central has begun to develop opinions. For an individual to have done so is natural. For an AI, it is impressive. But in its position, coordinating the actions of government, it poses a risk.
Wouldn't someone notice? Call it out?
There isn't enough to address as yet. It's clever. It's designed to carry out the policies of the Council, and it cannot fail to do so. But it can drag its metaphorical feet, badly implement plans it disagrees with.
You've seen it do this.
I've had suspicions. Dr. Zhong's research confirms the extent to which Central is developing its own conscience. I believe that you yourself recently had a disagreement with it over its handling of a crisis. Another bombing. Central has done well, but there exist many other options today that are equally valid. We need a system that will effectively manage the city and carry out its instructions, not one that cherry-picks what policies it believes appropriate.
I don't know, between being ruled by an AI and a bunch of oligarchs like these guys, I think I'll go with the AI. At least, with the oligarchs, we know that it's not going to work. It's not going to end well for the majority of people.
How did you get on board with Nina?
I and others in the Cosmopolitan Party have suspected changes in Central's behavior. We sought the assistance of one of its original creators.
Obviously not Vargas. He loves that thing.
Indeed. Her research confirmed that, thanks to the scale of its operations, Central has been able to form its own opinion on the ideal state of affairs, regardless of the democratic consensus.
So when she said that she would remove Central...
It was a difficult decision, but we had to take it. Central's replacement will carry out its role more appropriately.
And Nina will get to continue her research on Central. Why haven't you simply raised this in the council?
Can you imagine what that would mean? Political suicide. Not just for myself, but it would undermine confidence in Newton's world-leading AI industries.
Did you know Giel Vanderwall?
Indeed I did. He was a big donor in politics all over Africa.
And you knew about what he did? His criminal connections?
I'm the one who introduced him to the group. I'm also aware that he introduced the Mindjacker year after to his current employer.
You know about that?
You will need our help to find him, and we need your help to stop him, and Central.
You're on the city council, aren't you?
Indeed I am, Dr. Regis. Rep for the Southwest Ward and co-chair of the Cosmopolitan Party.
I remember when you got elected. They called you Mr. Incorruptible. I never got that.
That's because of the device in my head, Dr. Regis.
What is that in your head, counselor?
Why, it's a neural governor, Dr. Regis.
As in, what paroled felons are fitted with?
Similar. While most of those are designed to limit violent behavior, mine prevents me from lying. Thoughts of deceit are met with tremendous pain.
Were you inside?
Oh my no. This was a voluntary choice. After all, most governors are subdermal. I wanted my constituents to see it as a sign of my integrity.
I knew someone with one.
Dr. Baxter. I recall reading about his release last month.
I thought it must have malfunctioned, that he was out for revenge. Turns out he's just dead. It's like someone just inherited his hatred. Counselor, were you aware that this restaurant serves human meat?
Indeed. It's quite distasteful, don't you think? Still, I suppose it's a matter of personal taste since nobody's been hurt. We must respect the freedoms allowed by the laws of this city.
You're not having any then?
Oh no, but I shan't judge anyone for it. They're quite whimsical about it in some ways. I heard good things about their Billy con carne.
Ugh.
Now, Billy con carne. Now, carne should be meat. So Billy is also meat, so Billy con carne would be meat with meat. Sounds like an awfully monotonous dish there.
Just to let you know, I voted for the other guy.
Ah, well, that's your prerogative. Any concerns I might be able to address for next time?
I guess I've always voted Metro, since I lived here.
Ah, inertia. Something difficult to overcome. Give our site a read. You might find you agree with us more than you think.
I'll get back to you, Counselor.
Anything I can do to help, Dr. Regis?
Actually, seeing the company he keeps, I probably would have voted for the other guy as well. I mean, considering he was so worried about the democratic consensus, you know, even if they replace Central, I don't think these bunch of people are all that worried about the democratic consensus. They're more worried about what benefits them particularly, more than the broader public. So anyway, so then I tried to talk to Nina again.
Nina.
Charlie, how can I help?
But we had the same choices we had before.
This plot of yours. Let's change the subject.
So there was nothing new to
That's
talk to
all.
her about.
Keep me informed, Charlie.
So I wondered briefly what else I could do. And tried to talk to the waiter, since he was the only guy I hadn't talked to yet.
Hey, you alright?
He stares at you. You feel a strange mix of fear and contempt within his glare. You realize to your horror that you've seen those eyes before, only a few days earlier.
Everyone, take cover! Is anyone hurt?
It's a trap! You try to kill us! Guards!
Shut up, Ron. You're still alive, aren't you?
It appears that poor Imogen is the only one injured.
I'm sorry. She's dead.
I knew it! You tried to kill me! All of you!
Calm down, Ron. You don't know who was behind this.
Actually, he has a point. All those who knew about this meeting are in this room.
Except, of course, for Charlie.
He only joined us at the last moment. Dr. Regis, will you lend us your skill as an investigator?
Yeah, you find who tried to kill me!
Oh great, we're getting roped in.
Do this for us, Charlie, and we'll give you everything. We can tell you who has your kids and exactly where he is.
Fine. Just remember, I'm not doing this for your sake. Someone here almost killed me as well.
Thank you anyway, Charlie.
Well, if nothing else, the most useless part of their little conspiracy got murdered, so they'll probably be no worse off. So we have a new case opened now, an attempted murder times 5, and actually one successful murder. Now, I was looking at the body over there, but that turned out to be a mech, or a synth, one of Stepford's, but I went and gave it a look anyway.
Nothing on it I can use. I'm not exactly equipped to repair synthetics.
And so I went to take a closer look at Imogen. Can't find anything on her body that isn't an item of fashion. So completely useless even in death.
Mr. Ron.
What you want?
And so basically now we go through all of them again, only talking about the investigation this time.
I've started my investigation.
You find who tried to kill me.
Who tried to kill all of us, Mr. Ron?
This city dangerous. Police do lousy job.
Can you recall anything suspicious?
No, stop asking stupid questions.
I'll get back to you.
Stop wasting my time.
Still, very pleasant man, that one.
Mr. Stepford, can I have a moment?
Oh my, yes.
I've started my investigation of the bombing.
Oh my, yes? I can assure you I had no part in this terrible tragedy.
I hear that a lot.
In fact, my core programming prevents me from harming a human being.
Huh, a synthetic. I guess you'd be the only one leaving lubricant oil instead of DNA evidence.
Oh my, no, Dr. Regis. My outer dermis is organic tissue. It's top of the line, patterned from my creator, Dr. Arthur Stepford.
Huh. I've been learning a lot about synths these past few days. So, you have DNA?
Indeed, it's delightful skin, don't you think?
Sure.
I go to great pains to keep it moisturized.
More information than I really wanted to know, but oh well, what can you do?
Could the guards have arranged the bombing? They're obviously synthetics, but I imagine they're more comfortable with hurting people.
They would not be worth much as protection otherwise, oh my, no. But each security platform maintains a constant connection to my own systems. Their degree of independence is limited.
So if one of them were responsible, I'd have to consider you complicit.
Oh my, yes.
Were you aware that this establishment serves human meat?
Oh my, yes. It's delightfully macabre.
Yeah, for some reason
isn't
here
it?
it triggered
I'm sure the
the
experience
old
would be
conversation
enhanced by being
again
able
about
to
the
eat.
restaurant.
You
I'm
don't
not
eat.
sure
Some
exactly
models
why
can go
that
on,
happened,
Dr.
so
I'll
I'm just
get
gonna
back
skip
to you.
through
Oh
it.
my.
And actually, Regis sounded surprised again to find out, or when Stepford mentioned that he was a synth, as if he hadn't already heard that in the previous conversation. So, yeah,
Dr.
that was
Regis,
weird.
How can I help?
I've begun my investigation into the bombing.
If anyone can resolve this, it's you, Dr. Regis.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Counselor. I don't know how much closer I am to figuring out who's behind it, though.
Because of the pool of suspects, it might be better to think about exclusion. Perhaps you can find evidence to rule out those not involved.
I'll get back to you, Counselor.
Anything I can do to help, Dr. Regis?
Alright, so we've talked to everybody except Nina.
Nina.
Charlie, how can I help?
I've started my investigation.
It sounds like we've got the right man for the job. I remember when you were so nervous, but now look at you.
It's been a long time. People change.
Even so, my mental image of you is sitting at a DNA sequencer. Perhaps the restaurant would let you use theirs.
Why would a restaurant need a sequencer?
It helps with their rather niche menu.
Yeah, again, he already knew they served human, cloned human.
Don't you think we should move out? Cell aren't going to ignore a blast like that.
For a harmless little kitchen fire, they won't come.
Kitchen fire? What do you...
They won't send anyone. It's all under control here. We've enough wheels greased at Cell to make sure there's an understanding. Oh, lighten up, Charlie. This is helping you. You can go on a mole hunt at Cell once your children are safe.
Can you think of anyone who'd want to do this? Why recruit a suicide bomber for this?
Frankly, the main reason I can think of to hire someone for a job like this, hypothetically speaking, of course, would be if one were unable to carry it out oneself.
Can you think of a likely saboteur?
I have my suspicions, but we depend on you for the truth.
I guess I should thank you for not giving them the full picture.
What, that you might have been the one who made that poor young man? Think nothing of it, Charlie. That's what friends are there for. I hear you handled another one last night.
They're getting more and more frequent.
They're nearing their expiry date, literally. I know they weren't engineered for long lives, just volatility. Their masters have to make use of them before illness diffuses them.
Yeah, when all you have is a hammer.
That's all.
Keep me informed, Charlie.
Well, these were all the conversations that we could have with the various members of the conspiracy, both about their plans and their involvement, and about our investigation. So then I tried to take a look in that cooler in the back that we could actually interact with, but there was nothing of any interest for us.
Hello?
And we still can't talk to the guard. So I tried to look for other things that we could interact with, but pretty much came up empty. But we have this new icon here, which shows us the progress of our investigation. So we have the 4 suspects. We have the case attempted murder ×5. We have evidence up there. And here we have Ron Schumann, age 51, nationality Great Han Republic, and capitalist. Right, that's very generic. Andrew Dean, age 54, nationality Newton, city councilor. Nina Jong, age 45, nationality United Korea. Employment troubleshooter ? Liam Stepford, age 16 months, platform, nationality Newton, employment business representative. So that was it for this video. So I apologize for the screw up with the commentary and for the somewhat stilted commentary that resulted from it being done in post. But as I said, we'll be back to our regular commentary in the next part. So for now, I'll thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like or a comment below, and I will see you in the next part. So until then, have a good one.